Hello everyone, welcome back. This video is all about immune response. We have two different types of immune response. One is humoral mediated immune response, simply we call it as HMI, and the other one is cell mediated immune response. Simply we call it as CMI. Right now in this video I am going to talk in detail about this humoral mediated immune response. I am going to make a separate video on this cell mediated immune response. Before we talk about this humoral mediated immune response, first you should know what is meant by immune response. Immune response is nothing but the specific reactivity induced in a host by an antigenic stimulus is known as immune response. I already made a video on antigen, right? So what does this antigen do? It will induce specific immune response. Whenever this antigen enters into an individual as a part of defense mechanism, what our body is going to do? It will produce specific antibodies, right? That is nothing but the immune response. We are protected in such a way by producing the antibodies against various diseases. So this antigen should possess a property of inducing specific immune response. And once the antigen enters into our body, there will be a specific reactivity that will be induced in a host, that is within the individual, with the entry of an antigen. That is nothing but the immune response. As I told you just now that this immune response is of two types, right? One is humoral mediated immune response and the other one is cell mediated immune response, right? In case of humoral mediated immune response, specific antibodies will be produced in order to destroy the antigens. As there is an involvement of these antibodies, we can also call this humoral mediated immune response as antibody mediated immune response. Moreover, these produced antibodies are present in body fluids, nothing but humors. That's why we call this immune response as humoral mediated immune response. Hope you are clear with the humoral mediated immune response. We can simply define this humoral mediated immune response as destruction of antigens with the production of antibodies. See, observe the difference carefully. In case of humoral mediated immune response, once the pathogen enters into our body, it will be recognized as a foreign particle. And the effector cells of this humoral mediated immune response are B cells. Once the B cell gets activated, it will be differentiated into plasma cell and memory cell. These plasma cells are going to secrete the antibodies which are specific towards the antigen. So here there is an involvement of antibodies. That's why we are calling this humoral mediated immune response as antibody mediated immune response. Whereas in case of cell mediated immune response, there will be no production of antibodies. There the effector cells are T cells, which plays an active role in eliminating the pathogen out from the body. This humoral mediated immune response, which is also called as antibody mediated immune response, provides primary defense against extracellular pathogens like bacteria and also neutralizes their toxins. The effector cells of this humoral mediated immune response are B cells, because these B cells are involved in the production of antibodies which are specific towards the antigen. Sometimes these antibodies can alone neutralize the effect of antigen, whereas sometimes these antibodies will take help of other immune cells like macrophages and T cells in order to eliminate this pathogen out from the body. Coming to the activation of B cell, the process of stimulating the B cells to produce antibodies by humoral mediated immune response is called B cell activation. In order to produce antibodies, first B cell should get activated, right? See, once the antigen enters into our body, these B cells will carry receptors that are specific towards the antigen. Once this B cell comes in contact with the antigen, it gets activated. So this activated B cell will differentiate into plasma cell and memory cell. And this plasma cell is going to secrete the antibodies that are specific towards the antigen. So in order to produce the antibodies towards the antigen, first B cell should get activated. Okay, see here, If an antigen enters through tissues, they reach lymph nodes. If an antigen enters through bloodstream, they will reach spleen. This spleen and lymph nodes are the secondary lymphoid organs, right? And the B cells which are present in the secondary lymphoid organs of spleen and lymph nodes will carry specific antigen binding sites called receptors on their surface. Say for example, this is the B cell, okay? It will carry a receptor on its surface which will go and bind with the specific part of an antigen called epitope, which we generally call it as antigenic determinant, right? See, this is the antigen, okay? So this antigen will go and bind with the specific receptor that is present on the surface of the B cell. Due to this interaction, this B cell will get activated. Activation of B cells involves following steps. They are selection of B cells, recognition of antigen, processing of antigen by macrophages, antigen presentation, triggering of the B cells, and clonal proliferation. Let us discuss about each of them in detail. Coming to the first step, that is selection of B cells. Our immune system will have a variety of B cells with a variety of receptors. So the selection of B cells is very important from those numerous variety of B cells, because here each B cell will have a specific receptor on its surface. So that specific receptor should match with the epitope of an antigen, right? See, as we already discussed that B cell will carry a specific receptor on its surface, right? And it should come in contact with the antigen. So here, in the process of selection of a B cell, our immune system will have a variety of B cells. See, look at the picture. This is the antigen, okay? Right? And these are the B cells. B cells which are carrying receptor on their surface. So this receptor should match with the epitope of an antigen. Otherwise, there will be no interaction between both of them. If there is no interaction, this B cell will not get activated. When there is no activation of B cell, there will be no production of antibodies, right? So in order to produce the antibodies, first the B cell should get activated. So the receptor which is present on the surface of the B cell should match with the epitopic region of an antigen. See here, see, these are the B cells which are carrying a receptor, right? There are numerous B cells with a variety of receptors. See, these are the different types of receptors that are present on the surface of a B cell. As I told you just now, our immune system will have a variety of B cells with a variety of receptors. And these receptors should be specific towards the epitope of an antigen. Look at the picture. See here, there is a binding of B cell with the antigen. This is the B cell with the receptor and it got bound with the antigen. Why? Because both are specific towards each other. See, out of these three different B cell receptors present over here, these are the B cells which are exactly matching with the epitope of an antigen. So there is an interaction between both of them. That leads to the activation of a B cell. Coming to the next step, that is recognition of antigen. Whenever the antigen enters into an individual, that antigen will be recognized either by B cell or macrophages. And it all depends on the chemical configuration of the epitope. So where can we see this epitope? It is seen on the structure of an antigen, right? Which fits with the receptors of the lymphocyte and macrophages. This B cells and macrophages will carry our receptors, and those receptors should be specific towards the epitopic region of an antigen, right? So these B cells and the macrophages will take an active part in the recognition of antigen. Once the antigen is recognized, then it will be processed. As a part of antigen processing, APC, which stands for antigen presenting cells, play a very important role in presenting the antigen to B cell. See, look at the picture carefully. This is the antigen, okay? This antigen presenting cells will make this antigen more immunogenic. So what actually they do is, they are going to degrade non-immunogenic and less immunogenic regions and make this antigen more immunogenic. See here, now this is the region only present, whereas the other non-immunogenic and less immunogenic regions are degraded by this antigen presenting cells. Now after the processing of this antigen, they are going to deposit this antigen on their surface and they present it to the B cell. See here, this is the antigen presenting cell and this is the phagosome. After the fusion with the lysosome, they form phagolysosome. Okay, and this is how the degranulation will take place. That means here the non-antigenic and the less immunogenic regions are degraded, whereas this antigen is more immunogenic and that immunogenic region will be deposited on their surface. And now these antigen presenting cells, after they process the antigen, they are going to present that processed antigen to B cell. Coming to the next step, that is antigen presentation. Earlier we discussed about the processing of antigen, right? Once the antigen is processed, now it should be presented to a B cell, right? Here you need to know about two different types of antigens. They are T dependent antigens and T independent antigens. T stands for thymus. We can also call it as thymus dependent antigens and thymus independent antigens. If these antigens are presented directly to a B cell without the involvement of T cell, such antigens are called as T independent antigens. But if an antigen is presented to a B cell with the involvement of T cell, then those antigens are called as thymus dependent antigens. Look at the picture here. See, this is the antigen presenting cell. What they are going to do? They are going to process the antigen and then present the antigen to the B cell, right? See, this is the antigen that got deposited onto the surface of this antigen presenting cell. If this antigen is presented directly to the B cell without the involvement of T cell, then it is called as T independent activation. Look at the other picture. This is again an antigen presenting cell. After processing the antigen and after it got deposited onto the surface of the antigen presenting cell, it should now present the antigen to the B cell, right? Here the antigen is not directly presented to the B cell. What we have actually seen in this case. Here the antigen is directly presented to the B cell. But here the antigen is presented to T helper cell. There is an involvement of T cell, right? That's why we call such antigens as T dependent antigens. See here, in case of T dependent activation, these antigen presenting cells are going to present the antigen. This is the antigen. Present the antigen to the T helper cells, which are going to secrete soluble fractions called BSF, which stands for B cell stimulating factor, which activates the B cell. Coming to the next step, that is triggering of B cell. Just now we have discussed how the antigen is processed and presented, right? Those antigen presenting cells are going to present the processed antigen to the B cells, right? And these B cells will get triggered with the bound antigen. Due to the interactions, B cell metabolic rate increases, RNA and the protein synthesis will go on. DNA begins to replicate. What is meant by replication? Making a copy of DNA, right? So DNA begins to replicate and going to produce further generation of cells. Coming to the last step, that is clonal proliferation. This step of clonal proliferation take place after the triggering of B cell. Look at the picture here. This is the B cell with the receptor and this is the antigen presenting cell which is going to present the antigen to the B cell. Now this B cell will be triggered with the bound antigen. The metabolic rate will be increased and the DNA will begin to replicate, producing the further generation of the cells. All these cells will be identical with each other. And in this step of clonal proliferation, this B cell will be differentiated into plasma cell and memory cell. And this plasma cell is going to secrete antibodies which will circulate freely in the blood. These produced antibodies are involved in the destruction of antigen. Moreover, the memory cells will be formed, right? So if the same antigen enters into our body for the second time, these memory cells again are capable of differentiating into plasma cells which are involved in producing the antibodies. So the same type of antibodies which are specific towards the antigen will be produced again if the antigen enters into our body for the second time. Coming to the biological role of humoral mediated immune response, This humoral mediated immune response fights against extracellular pathogens like bacteria by producing specific antibodies. Humoral mediated immune response also participate in the destruction of some viruses that are present in respiratory and intestinal tracts. It also involves in the immediate type hypersensitive reactions like type 1, type 2, type 3 and anaphylaxis. This is all about the humoral mediated immune response. In my next video, I will talk about cell mediated immune response. Thank you so much.